I'm back again with a supplemental episode to help us with our understanding with the star in our lives that occurs once every 20 years. Yes, that star is part of the journey we're making in our trek to get where we are supposed to go with our destiny. So let's get on with it while I drink some green tea, and I'll show you what kind of beautiful astrology could come out of me. So, 2020, there was the star. So tonight we will work on unearthing the corners of our trek with this star. So you'll locate the star. The last star happened at 0 degrees Aquarius, so you can locate that star in your life, in your natal chart, and you can see where the transits are happening, because now we're approaching the first square since the star. The square is like that turn in the road, right? You know, the motion around that turn is Jupiter, but that turn and the sharpness of that turn, or the rocky way of the turn, whatever it may be, it's a turn. It's like a hurdle, right? So this is the turn. So what to help us understand the turns of Jupiter and Saturn, I've gotten our charts up for the last 30 years. It takes about 10 years for us to make one turn. It's just a very long cyclic new moon, full moon, turn around the four corners kind of like an event, right? So here we go. Let's get to it. We're already 2 minutes into it. So on this coming year, we have it Jupiter in the air sign and Pisces, and that's where it is. It's a mutable. These are this particular year coming up. It's a mutable turn. We have a water element that we're working with, and then we have an air element working with. While we have, and this is supposed to be a dragon year, but basically, the Earth part of the dragon goes air by summer, and we have a whole bunch of retrogrades going on. Including Pluto and Ceres as well, but we have all these retrogrades, not including the moon. Not including the node. The node is always in that retrograde cycle, and we have this Aries thing happening on the cusp. So when we see the Aries at 14 degrees on the cusp for the United Kingdom, when we see that cusp at 14 degrees, we have to understand it's in the apex of Aries, right? So it's in that second house, it's in that Leo house, right? And to identify the time of this exact time of the square, it's right down to the minute. I guarantee it. You go 1 minute the other direction, the moon will be at 26, right? So that 26 to 27, and that magical number 8 in the numerology of the symbol. And here we have 14 degrees Aries, and this would be basically just a little bit over 1 degree out from perfect conjunction to my Saturn. So this is the turn, folks. We have to look at there will be a turn in your life. It will happen. How much you feel it all has to do with how close any personal planets will be connected to any of the planets in the turn, right? And where they are. Okay? So, if you're not going through it, you'll be observing someone who is. So here we go. When we look at this right here, we have to go, the only way we will understand this is it happens every 10 years, these turns happen, right? These corners. The oppositions of Jupiter and Saturn will not be included in this. This is just specifically understanding how the corners and the elements work. So on this, as I said before, for this year, it will be air, Jupiter in an air element, and Saturn will be in a water element, okay? So keep air and water tagged to these big guys. Things that happen between air and water, these what happen. This is that you will notice in your life, okay? You will see it. Then what we have to look at is for 2016, Jupiter will be an earth element, and then Saturn will be over here in a fire element. You see how they get switched around here, and so on and so on. There's 2006. and we will go through that after this. So I'm going to minimize this chart, and I'm going to minimize this chart, and I'm going to go through the events of May 16. As you can see, the Iraqi Civil War, we got some archaeologists digging some things up, which I put an identification tag to Pluto. That's what we can do here. But as you go down, disasters and accidents, and we have to look at disasters and accidents when we're looking at that Uranus thing. Where is that Uranus guy? Where is he hiding? He's at 22 degrees Aries opposed Libra, the house of Saturn, and look where Juno is there. But when you look at 22 degree mark, you will know that Aries lineup will happen to this Pluto guy. And then the moon guy is over here as well, right? Look at that. Nice cardinal turn. Now, but keep these charts with you. Look at the times. Adjust the times to your location. Get the right ascendant to where you were to understand what chapter of your life, and to be solid with the intuition of what the planets deliver. Okay, of the viewpoint. Now we'll minimize that one, and we will go to 2006, right? 2006 would be this one right here. Here's October 25th, 2006. There is Cato signing show of desperation, right? So where is that? Look, it's Cato signing show of desperation. And look at this. Look how beautiful this chart is, folks. I'm going to zoom this up for you. Get over here, zoom this up as well. Look at this, Saturn in Leo. I don't make this stuff up. I didn't write any of this, but it was there for us. Roster spot, right? 15th roster spot, right? Here we go. So, and it goes on. There's all kinds of stuff to look at. And, retailing actually is ruled by Leo, right? Hot trends on the hip-hop toy trail, right? Here we are talking about the trail. So, this is the other, as I said, Jupiter will be in Scorpio, right? So when you look at things that are going on through here, you'll notice the Jupiter influence with Scorpio, and that 23rd degrees of Scorpio would be that Cancer, right? You can see this. You can look at all the different headlines here, and they all marry up pretty much. When you start looking through all the headlines, they all start matching up with the planets quite clearly, and you can look at that for you. It's just to keep this podcast short and easy to follow. Okay, let me shrink this down here. But here on this one right here, there's that Aries on the ascendant for the United Kingdom at London, right? So we have to look at, you can see where all the, they've done it really nice here with the New York Post. And then what you can do is you look at the times that they actually post things here, and change it to that universal time if you like to meet up with this chart. It's very simple. Everything is there. You can see how the chart is sitting. Saturn is down in the 6th house, and everything is above the horizon, and Jupiter is in motion, or there's no retrogrades for this chart on this year, and that way, that's the reason why you see like this right here, room service. Saturn will be in the 6th house, right? That's a service house, right? And then here's Juno, right? The Juno rules that person in the room, right? And then there's a devotion on the horizon, and then you got all these planets above the horizon. So there you go. room service, hotel values on the rise. Simple, just like that. And the we're here in the second degree, of course, and of course the sun is conjunct my natal Mercury for this particular chart, or not natal Mercury, but natal Mars, because I have that Mars at 3 degrees. It's, as I said, crazy. It's actually craziness how these all. I mean, the moon in Sagittarius is actually square my natal Venus in Virgo. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next chart really quick here. As I said before, the corners happen. If you want to go looking through time, for family members and what have you, and events in your own past, you just keep on going backwards about every 10 years and you'll find the squares, right? In our next episode, I will be covering the oppositions. Because there are different influences. People write about different things. There's different activities, but they're interesting and trying times, right? Squares and oppositions. So, putting this one away, the November 11th. Okay, we got November 11th, 1995. And here we are. For this chart, for the UK, November 11th, Virgo is on the ascendant here, and it's actually Virgo on the ascendant is actually conjunct my natal Venus, right? I'm scrolling over here so you can see. Oh, it's just not going to work with me that way. I'm sorry, folks. I tried. Sometimes it just doesn't like work. So here you are. Virgo's on the ascendant, and for the exact time, that's actually conjunct my natal Venus, only like 50 minutes out, okay? I got like a natal Venus 11 minutes, 10 minutes, 48 seconds, right? So it's just a degree out. So my natal Venus would be like on this side of the degree, okay? On this side of the, just in the 12th house, on the cusp. So very, it's the reason why I'm here. It's my incarnation, my karma, to deliver you this information right now. So the first article right there, I could get this up so you can see it, so it doesn't hurt your eyes. So the debt ceiling impasses. The debt ceiling impasse dampens bond prices. Okay, so of course we have Saturn over the horizon line, and we have the moon. In the 10th house. Which belongs to, so Saturn's at home in the 7th house, and then we have the moon in the partnership house of Saturn, and Saturn rules debt, right? Exactly, and debt is a partnership thing. You have to owe some money, right? You have to have a partner to have a debt. And Mercury on the horizon here, which would bring Mercury, which is trading, in his own house of communications and trading. And there's Saturn there as well. And these planets, most importantly, for this chart of the square, Saturn in Pisces, square Jupiter in Sagittarius. And this is the last time Saturn was in Pisces for any because right now we're actually looking at, that's why we've gone back only 30 years, because this is going back to that 1995 date where Saturn was almost near the same location where she or he is now. I guess, with it being like the revolution in gendering right now, I guess Saturn can be a girl or a boy, whatever you want it to be, right? It's a feminine sign. But when you look at the different charts I have here, and you're comparing these two right here is 2024, and here's 1995, and we see Saturn is only, isn't that crazy? Saturn is only 1 degree out. Not even 1 degree out from where he or she was in 1995, and now he's in the 12th house for the chart for the UK. So when you're looking back in like the history of the UK, through the different tabloids and what have you, I just brought up the different the different web pages that were easy to navigate, so you could see the different trends and associate the headlines that I prepared for you, right? So the difference between two. This is the comical way. Um, this is the very intricate and very what we say puzzle type of way the solar system works, because in 1995 Jupiter is at 18 degrees Sagittarius, and now he's in that full moon cycle of that 1995 and that 2024 date. So you're just looking at this dates, right? As I said, no one else is coming forward to this, and this is big cycle. This is big boy trends, right? I'm not getting all hippy trippy on you. I'm getting right down cold and calculating with the numbers. You got a chart. You're going to place these planets to your chart. You're going to see from what's going on now compared to then, and understand that Jupiter is in his full moon cycle from 1995, and Saturn is going to be like the pendulum here, right? Because he's the taskmaker. He rules time, but he's in that 12th house. And last time he was doing this for the UK, he was in that 7th house of partnership, right? So they're both above the horizon line types of charts for Saturn, but Saturn's in that like culmination sign, that 12th house, that Neptune house, right in the middle. He's getting ready to move into Aries too, right? Like he wants to move into Aries, but most importantly, this year, Saturn. I mean, you gotta look at this Neptune thing, right? You gotta look at this Neptune thing in the last degrees. He's getting ready to crest that Aries, right? He's getting ready to throw a little steam on his rings, right? Neptune, I'm telling you, no matter how faint they are compared to Saturn. And Saturn is all about, one of the biggest things about Saturn when he moves out of Pisces is the confusion he will find in Aries, because this will be his 4th house, right? Aries is the 4th house for Saturn, right? So that's a hard time for Saturn. Excuse me. I have any more fluids left? So 30 years, folks. I mean, you'll see the charts here. You got them. You can pause. You can look at your charts. You can compare and understand. These are just the squares, right? Because oppositions are completely different kind of circumstances. They're similar, but I wanted to show you the squares. And so if you're over 30 years old, you'll be able to look at, or if you're around 30 years old, or in that time period, you'll be able to reflect on a Saturn return, okay? Because it's every 30 years, okay? So look, guys, I'll let you go, and I hope this helped you gain insight on this year coming. As I said before, when I put these back into order, you have to look at what's going on with the whole planet, but also understand that Saturn and Jupiter are the big players, right? They're the all the lords, all the overlords in our solar system have jobs that we have to maintain in our daily life, because it's, as I said before, it's that Saturn, Pluto, Mars thing. It's all about how light your feather is when you go see Mott on the other side of those scales, right? And I say this because this is 2024. I mean, when you look at that 1995 date, he's right there in that house of Saturn, but now Saturn's over here in this. I said this Neptune house, and Neptune's home right now. He's been home for a while, and he's definitely himself at home, or herself, I should say. But I'll let you go, and I'll see you next time. But it's always interesting going back in time, and I stopped there just because the further you get past a certain time point, the more difficult it is to find a good selection of articles to look through. Um, that's all I can say because the internet hasn't been the internet in the age of Aquarius. We're just getting deeper into that age now. We just have to use our information to make sure that we're preparing a better humanity for tomorrow, especially in places like Canada. Okay, look, guys. As I said before, this is the last one we were looking at, which was about not quite 10 years ago. So things are always going on. These people, they just don't stop doing what they like to do, and it's all about trading, right? We are all here to do that earth trade, but some of us just want to trade fire, all kinds of fire. I'll talk to you later. Bye.